Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for choosing Across the Fence. I'm Will Michael. We're at Josh's house in Colchester today, part of what you may know as Fort Ethan Allen. And this is a program that touches on values like compassion, community, as well as issues like service and suicide. According to the Veterans Administration, they report that in this country, 17 veterans die by suicide each and every day. Josh Pallotta was one of those veterans. Josh joined the Vermont National Guard in 2009 and was deployed to Afghanistan. In 2014, Josh succumbed to post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injuries he suffered while proudly serving his country. He was 25. Following his death, family, veterans, and community members established the Josh Pallotta Fund with the goal of ending veteran suicide. And the fund has helped spawn this facility, which opened just recently. It's Josh's house, a place designed by veterans for veterans. And to learn more, we're joined this afternoon by Josh's mother, also the co-director of the Josh Pallotta Fund, Val Pallotta. Good to see you again.
You too, Will. It's been forever. Thank you for having us again.
Well, thank you for hosting us in this new facility. And we'll get to see it throughout the program. It's a beautiful, wonderful place.
Finally.
I also want to say that we have always admired and respected the fact that you're able to talk about issues of veterans and suicide, especially when it involves your own son. And again, thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you, Will. If you don't talk about it, you can't change it. So my husband Greg and I have always been open about making sure our story is out there so that we can help other veterans.
So supporting servicemen and women is not new to you. You were doing this the moment that Josh joined the Guard. Tell us about some of the ways that you and your family have supported our armed forces.
Yeah, so when Josh joined, I immediately went to the National Guard. They had a parent network group, and I joined that right away. And through those meetings, I met wonderful parents. The thing that was unique about the parent group is that the parents were members of all branches of the military. Their sons and daughters were in the Army, the National Guard, the Marines, Merchant Marines, Navy. And we really wanted to do something to give back. Our sons and daughters, our sons specifically from the 3rd 172nd Brigade out of the National Guard, was getting ready to deploy. And we really wanted to support them before they came back. So we did a lot of research and chartered the first Blue Star Mothers of America Vermont chapter. And through that, we did a ton of work, raised a lot of money, supported a lot of veterans. They're still very active in supporting them through financial support, emergency support, groceries, oil bills, things like that. So I'm very proud of that. And
through all of that, you learned a lot about PTSD, not only from your son, but from his fellow service members. What have you learned?
I've learned, first of all, not every veteran experiences PTSD. And not only veterans experience PTSD. What I learned is that it takes something more than medication to really help veterans. They're looking for an alternative. They're hurting, they have flashbacks and memories, and they want something that will give them a focus and something bigger than themselves to focus on. A mission, another mission that they had when they were deployed. I think that's one of the things that people don't really realize, is that it's not all veterans are suicidal. So that was a learning curve for me, because I didn't realize until Josh died that it's more the connection that they're lacking.
Tell us about the genesis of the Josh Pallotta Fund. What was the goal and what it's led to today?
Yeah, so after Josh died, we really, from my work with Blue Star Mothers, people just started donating money in Josh's memory. And my husband and I just kind of took a year or so to think about what we wanted to do with the money. And then we started talking to veterans who were deployed with Josh, started talking to them and saying, what do you think would have helped Josh? What would help you? And they all said, we want a place to hang out and be together and play video games. That's all they wanted. So we said, why don't we combine, I have a background in integrative health therapies, and why don't we combine that with just a recreation facility so that they can hang out, play video games, play a game of pool, and have some aromatherapy or a massage or a chiropractic treatment. So that's kind of the genesis of how this all happened.
Let me follow and continue with that. What are some of the opportunities, some of the, whether they're services or programs that are now available through Josh's House?
Along with the recreational piece, we have a full computer lab. We want to offer classes that will help veterans with their, education, furthering their education, or just having a place to study. We want to offer guitar lessons, healing waters. We want to bring healing waters in to do some fly fish tying. But this space is really for the veteran. So if somebody comes in and they want to do something here, then we want to hear about it so that we can offer it if it's within reason.
You have a gym facility, you've got the recreation spaces. Is this what you envisioned and imagined as you began to put this together?
It is. It really is. It's incredible. I choke up every time I walk in these doors and think, wow, it's even more than I could have imagined. Eventually, I'd like to have a bigger gym space. We always want a bigger space for other offerings, but this may be jumping the gun, but this is not our one and only facility that we want. We plan to open up a few more in Vermont, and then I want one in the country, every state in the country, eventually.
Val, is it difficult, in your opinion, for veterans to get the services they need? Are there barriers?
I think there are some barriers. I think location is a barrier. I think for veterans who are,
Isolation, rural?
Isolation, correct. I think some of the treatments that are being offered might not be what the veteran actually needs. So a veteran who is struggling might not need counseling or want counseling. It might not be for him or her. They might just want the connection, to feel like they're not isolated, to feel like they can be with people who understand. So to answer your question about if there are barriers, I think there are some, but I also think the VA has done a great job of kind of knocking those barriers down and offering, as much support as they can. I think this is different. This space is different, and giving them something in addition to what the VA and other organizations are offering.
So to do this, you had to build a lot of support, and particularly financial support. Yeah. How did that happen?
Through events, word of mouth. The Poorhouse is doing the pull tickets are donated to the Josh's Fund, to Josh Pallotta Fund. People will do a Facebook fundraiser for their birthday and have it be, donations sent to the Josh Pallotta Fund. So it's just something as simple as that.
So it's these small individual pieces all the way up. I know we don't have time to get to everything, but I also know there were many companies, one in particular, that we wouldn't really be standing here if it wasn't for
REM Development. And here's where I might lose it. Greg and my husband and I have been friends with the Millers we went to school with the Millers. And Tim Miller and Stephanie Miller-Taylor, Bobby Miller's son and daughter, are incredible. They approached us and said they wanted to help. They've been following us for, since Josh died. And they have donated the fit up. They did all the work in this space, and I just can't say enough about them.
Well, since I first met you several years ago, I've known that one of the many Vermont companies that's played a key role in raising funds and awareness with 14th Star Brewing, which is a veteran-owned Vermont craft brewery. Andrea Garnier is the CEO, or was the CEO of 14th Star when she first learned about Josh's House, and she's now the Executive Development Director for the Josh Pallotta Fund, and she's joined us here this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell us about your work with the Josh Pallotta Fund.
Oh, well, it started many years ago. I met Val shortly after I started with 14th Star, and she approached me about doing a potential beer release, which has become known as the 11 Bravo release, that up until COVID hit, we had been doing every year. We had 5 successful releases of that beer that 14th Star donated all of the profits from to the Josh Pallotta Fund. And when COVID hit, I hit Val up and said, give me something to do. Let me work on bringing a little bit more brand awareness and trying to build a greater social media following, and also with no events, looking for alternative fundraising ways to keep the mission going. So in August of last year, I came on board full-time.
So in your view, as you've seen this, how will Josh's House positively impact veterans?
One of the things that I remember talking to my brother, who's a veteran, about is having the ability to just hang out and talk to and be with others that have experienced many of the same things that he's experienced. And just giving them an opportunity to just be together, whether they don't talk about anything of deep social impact or they do, just that ability to be together. And I think it also gives them a place to look forward to going. When they come home from deployment, they aren't given any kind of time to transition, and they miss the opportunity to spend with those people that they were so closely tied to on a daily basis. So.
And Josh's House provides that. How would a veteran, now that you're open, how would a veteran access the services and programs and the facility here?
So our eventual plan is to be a 24/7 facility, but in the interim, people just give me a call. They'll call here, and the number 802-495-5915. It'll be up on our website. All they need to do is call. We'll let them know what hour somebody's going to be here. But eventually, the idea is that we'll have someone here all the time.
And if they have questions, they can go to the website, which is
joshpalatafund.org, or they can email info@joshpalatafund.org.
Well, thank you both. This has been a real pleasure and treat to visit with you and to see inside here at Josh's House, a long time in the making for veterans to take advantage of. Thank you both.
Anytime. You come
My
in
pleasure.
anytime.
And that is our program for today. We know you have choices, so thanks for choosing us. I'm Will Michael, inviting you to join us back here each weekday afternoon for another visit across the fence.